All right. Hey, everybody. I'm so happy to be here and very happy to have my special guest, Denise Mortimer, here with me. Denise, say hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
So good to be here. Thank you, Angela.
Wonderful. I'm very excited to have Denise here today to help everybody understand what exactly a magnetic money process is, how it can benefit everyone, and also how it can benefit people in ways inside their money beliefs, outside their money beliefs, and generally just in life in general. As you all know, I am a mompreneur coach and women's wealth advocate. So I really, really want to help create more wealthy women, specifically wealthy moms. Um, and I had the pleasure of working with Denise on a couple occasions already so far. One, we did a breakthrough session. It was quite profound for me to, really understand where some of my blocks and challenges were coming from. And then I participated in her Limitless program, which created some really strong shifts for me in how I dealt with things and how I was able to respond instead of react to different situations in life, and really believe that in what was possible for me. So when she started offering the training on how to deliver the magnetic money process, I really wanted to be a part of it because I have seen the results that Denise's processes create, and I wanted to be able to deliver that to my audience and women and mompreneurs at large. So Denise, why don't you introduce yourself, so that I don't do it any disservice, and let everybody know kind of what it is you do and how you help people.
Fantastic. Thank you, Angela. And I love your mission to help women, help especially moms become independently wealthy, because I agree with you that we need to create more wealthy women thriving in this world. So I came across a process about 3.5 years ago that blew my mind. I'm no newcomer to personal development. I'm on the other side of 50, and I've spent 30 years of my life studying NLP and positive psychology and law of attraction. So I've done the academic stuff, I've done the woo-woo stuff, I've done all of it. And when I discovered this hypnotic process about 3.5 years ago, it just knocked my socks off. I went into it thinking, like, what is this going to teach me that I don't already know? Because I felt like I've been around the block, been around the houses. And then when I experienced this and I had such a profound shift, it got me so excited, because suddenly all of the academic stuff came together with all the woo-woo stuff, and I could explain it with such ease. And I could see, I started teaching it myself. Well, I started delivering it to my clients and seeing these amazing changes. So the gist of what I do is I help people with subconscious blocks. And in short, a subconscious block is a limiting belief that you created in childhood, that you're carrying around with you, that you might not even know that you're carrying around with you, because you just think it's the way it is. And when you realize that there's another way to be, everything changes. And this is what I want to see more women experiencing, that massive shift, that massive change, that there is something on the other side of what they currently believe that's stopping them from earning shed loads of money.
I love that. I love that. And it's interesting with these subconscious beliefs because it's like you said, like you might not even know you have them, right? They might be things that, like, when you were growing up, you heard them and they didn't strike you as wrong or odd or even impactful. Things like you have to work hard for money, or who hasn't heard money doesn't grow on trees, or who do you think we are, the Rockefellers? Just said in jest when you're growing up, right? And it's fascinating to me how we can take either small comments or even small interactions, like small occurrences in our lives, and they can make their home in our subconscious and have such a profound impact on how we see the world, how we see ourselves, how we see our potential. And as an adult, if you really looked at that situation consciously, you would wonder why it mattered. Like, I know for me, when I was doing 40 years of Zen and we were talking about it, I brought up an occurrence from my past and I was like, isn't it stupid that I'm still thinking about something 30 years later? And they were like, no, not at all. And I was like, okay, now I feel normal. That's great. But why am I still holding on to something that happened when I was, 12 years old? And the more learning I do working with people such as yourself or taking other academic courses, the more it starts to make sense. So can you kind of tell everybody a little bit about this magnetic money process, or like what they can expect going into something like this?
Yes, absolutely. So what I want to say before I tell you more about the process is I was out cycling this morning, and I was listening to an interview with Bruce Lipton, who does a lot of work around how our emotions are stored in our cells.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, most people who study anything about subconscious would know that our subconscious mind is dictating 98% of the behaviors we do, the thoughts that we think. So everything that we thought yesterday is likely to be the same thing that we think tomorrow. So 98% of what we're doing is based on something that happened in childhood. But the next thing that nearly made me stop in my tracks on my bike was that he said 70% of those thoughts are disempowering. 70% of those thoughts. So 98% of them are based in the past, and 70% of those are disempowering. And it's just mind blowing. And we have it. When I look at the whole of like how we're constructed as humans, I'm like, there's like a flaw in the system that everything is imprinted at this early age. Right. And then we have to undo it. It's like our job. And it's almost like the only job we need to do is to undo that. And I say damage, and I don't mean that as parents intentionally wanting to screw you up, but I always jokingly say to my clients, your parents screw you up, whether they mean to or not. They can only share with you the length and breadth of their experience. And often that leads to limitations that you then have to choose. Am I going to continue with this generational cycle of poverty and lack and worry and fear and scarcity, or am I going to break it now? So magnetic money is an invitation to break that, to change the future for yourself and for the rest of your family. So the process is that it's a hypnotic process, and it takes you into a relaxed state. Now, hypnosis is nothing to be scared about. Some people get really worried about it, but it's actually a two-way conversation. But your client is just in a super relaxed state. It's called theta brainwaves. And we experience this twice a day anyway, when we fall asleep and then when we wake up. So we're experiencing those brainwaves every day anyway. And then during the process, through a very particular line of questioning. So it's not just like random, like, why do you think that? It's all done very, very intentional and very specifically. We get to the core. We do some regressions to what's called the root cause. We try and find the exact time when you made a decision that's still affecting your life. And it might have been something that seems so innocuous. Like you're walking down the street with your mother, you drop your $5, your mother's giving you a $5 bill. You've dropped the $5. Your mother goes, you stupid child, you're so bad with money. That could affect you. Like that one incident could affect you for a lifetime, because anything that you experience as a child with high emotional content gets kind of locked into your cells. It's like a moment frozen in time. And so you could spend the rest of your life, because you dropped that $5 note, thinking that you're bad with money. And it can be as simple as that, or it could be as complex as, coming from chronic poverty, and maybe you've had a parent in prison, and you knew nothing but drug abuse and trying to scam people for money. So that's it. Even bigger distortion, even bigger traumatic event. But when we go back and you look at, and it's not diminishing anyone's trauma, and it's not amplifying, because when it's traumatic when you're a child, it's traumatic and it gets locked in. And even the things that you look back as an adult and think, why did I believe that? Like you said, it just is. It's just the way it is. So during the process, you go to the root cause. And the most important thing is to decondition, desensitize you to the emotional impact that had. Because when you go back and you re-experience it, you learn the lessons you need to learn. You can then choose to let it go. And that's where the magic happened. There's a moment in the process where it's like, are you ready to let this go? Literally with every cell in your body, you're ready to let it go. And the client will often say yes. I've had some people say, I don't know who I'll be without this, but there's ways around that as well. But when they get rid of it, you can see a physical relief in the body, like, I don't have to believe that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they come out the other end, Angela, the changes are so incredible. So incredible. It becomes a little bit of an emotional roller coaster because you've kicked up dust for things they maybe haven't thought about for or forgot that were even in their memory bank because you've brought them back. And then life just changes from that point onwards. It becomes something so incredible because there's no emotional attachment to those old experiences. And when you have no emotional attachment to it, it's like if you told me a sad story, I'd feel bad for you, but I wouldn't really be repeating that over and over again. It wouldn't have the same, it's like the same thing. It's almost like viewing that situation almost like as an outsider going, it's not had the same emotional impact on me. Life changes. You start to see, and it's not just about money, that like the benefits will be so profound in so many ways. And this is what I experienced myself with clients, that they'd come to me for something other than money, but the impact would be that they would start earning more money because it's like you've removed all the barriers, all those emotional connections to those negative events in childhood. You've removed the barriers. So money can flow, love can flow, joy can flow, ease can flow, peace of mind. Most people, Angela, don't even know what peace of mind feels like. 100%. They think they do, but until you felt it, it's something else. It's like you're scrolling through social media and you're not feeling triggered by people, and you're not worried about who's doing better than you, and there's no sort of imposter syndrome. You just feel at ease with who you are.
Yeah. No, and I can say I've experienced that as well myself. It's when you're finally able to release the guilt and shame that you have been carrying inside of your cells and your subconscious for years, decades around things. Not only do you view yourself differently, but you view other people differently, because right, we have a natural bias, a cognitive bias, that we believe other people think the way we think, right? And so if we are walking around comparing ourselves to others, judging others, feeling envy, feeling, jealousy, feeling desire, feeling all of these negative emotions, then we expect everyone else feels them too and is thinking like us too. And therefore we view the world as scary and dangerous and ugly. Whereas once we can release our negative emotions like jealousy and envy and desire and, these things, we release them for other people too in our minds, because now we don't think that way. So now they don't think that way. And the world becomes abundant and beautiful and kind and caring and loving. And what we believe, we project out and we see it return back to us. And so if we have more people living that way, the world becomes a more beautiful, loving, and abundant place.
Absolutely. And even if, like, because you're filtering, and our reticular activating system changes. So we're filtering for different things. So you're absolutely right there. But even if you see someone behaving in a way that you think is ugly or hurtful or whatever, you begin to see it for what it is, rather than feeling offended, taking it personally. Like you can see it through the eyes. It just sounds really cheesy, but you can see it through the eyes of love. You just go,
absolutely. You see
that
it
person needs healing.
Yeah, as their pain, as their personal journey. It's not a reflection of you anymore. It is now them showing you what they're trying to heal or what needs healing.
Absolutely.
And so you can meet them with compassion and love, as opposed to with fear and, oh geez.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So I feel compelled. I'm going to go with what's in my head right now, if I may. I want to share about one of my clients who came to me because she was experiencing, she's a woman in business, and she was experiencing something called chronic fatigue syndrome. And she'd literally been bedridden for 2 years with chronic fatigue syndrome, and on and off. And she'd had a 2-year stint where she was pretty much in the bed. But prior to that, she'd been on and off, housebound. And we went through this process because she wanted to get to the bottom of her chronic fatigue syndrome. So this is what I mean about it has like lots of knock-on effects. We weren't specifically working on money with her. And what we recognized by doing this work together was that her chronic fatigue was triggered by her mother having high expectations of her, and her having chronic fatigue gave her permission to do nothing because there was no pressure on her when she got chronic fatigue. So once she recognized that, and she felt kinder towards her mother, could see the world through her mother's eyes as well, and she felt kinder towards herself. Not only did she never experience chronic fatigue again, I'm going back about 3 years, but she also, in a short, I think it was about a space of a month, she signed up 19 new clients into her business. She was like, it just has so many positive effects for people to clear this. And everyone's different as well. And sometimes there's more layers that need to be cleared. And some people are just some people have done loads of work and they just get rid of the last bit that they need to get rid of. Well, I guess there's never a last bit. There's always more to go. Yeah. But my point being that anyone would benefit, because even if you just scratch the surface of someone who's never experienced it, they're going to have a profound shift. And someone who's done all the work, they're going to have a shift as well. I think it has been one of the most life-changing modalities. And I sit back going like in disbelief when my clients come back to me and go, this happened overnight, or this happened in the space of a week. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I'm so excited that you're going to be learning this and giving this an opportunity, giving your people an opportunity to experience this. Because I was like, I think it was probably in the middle of July. I was like, could I teach this? Am I ready to teach this? And I thought more people need to understand how to apply this. And the more people who know about it, you're literally facilitating, people do the work themselves, but we're there to facilitate that change. And being the facilitator of such a change it's an honor, it's a privilege, it's a gift. And helping people in this way is just, I just thought it's time to start reaching more people. So let's start getting some of the other leaders, healers, business leaders learning this thing. So my belief, Angela, is that you can grow your business to a certain point with all the hustle, all the drive, all the push, all the, oh my God, how am I going to fit in everything around my kids and my husband? And maybe they're not even married and they're looking after kids and trying to keep everything going. And it doesn't have to be that hard. There's another way to do it. And when you let go of the past and you let go of those limits and you let go of those old stories, you give yourself permission to create a whole new way, to create your life, create your income, and balance time for your family.
Amazing. You're so right. Amazing. So yeah, just to let everybody know, I do have a special offer going on for my community right now before I offer it out wider. And that is, the introductory offer to have a magnetic money session, magnetic money process session, which will be the one-to-one session with, 2 follow-ups as well, so that we can make sure everything's on course and course correct as needed. And it's actually, I picked a nice low price. I went with $111 because 111, and I want it to be something that everybody can take advantage of. So I've got 10 spaces available. We're booking up into the first week of October. And so if you want an opportunity to experience this change firsthand, either comment below, shoot me a DM, let me know. And I too, I'm very excited to see these changes, to see these transformations, because everybody deserves to feel this way. Everybody deserves, you're born worthy, right? You don't need to earn your worthiness. You deserve to feel good and abundant and powerful and loved. And I
couldn't agree with you more. And I want to say to your community as well, like jump on these sessions, because once the word is out and the impact of these sessions are being seen in your community, Angela, you will have a waiting list of people. Like I have I have no doubt, because they're so life-changing. And this is such an opportunity. You know, it's, I charge 4 figures to go through this process. As you know, I charge 4
Yeah.
figures to go through this process now. And I truly believe with every fiber of my being that it is worth that and more. So this at 111, it really is a price that the angels have the angels have provided for you. So yeah, get your bookings in. Who's ever listening to this now, I do not believe we live in an accidental universe. If you're hearing this, if you're watching this, there is a reason for you to be listening in on this. You deserve to live abundantly. Make sure you get booked in with Angela while she's hot off the press and ready to deliver some life-changing stuff.
Amazing. Thank you, Denise. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for all that you're doing in this world and for being a light. And thank you for making time to
my absolute pleasure. Good. I look forward to seeing some more of you in your group.
Wonderful. Bye, guys. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Have a wonderful day.
Jump on now. Bye.
Bye.